One last blast for America's original March Madness, and it should be a good one. 4A state title game coming your way right here on the IHSA TV network. Good evening and welcome to Carver Arena in Peoria. I'm Lee Hall. It's Waukegan against Whitney Young, a couple of teams that begin with W. Only one of them will come away with a W tonight. A couple of premier players here tonight. Jeremy Richmond, the Illini recruit for the Bulldogs, and of course, Marcus Jordan, the son of Michael, here led his team to this state championship game with a great performance last night. Can the heir to Air Jordan bring home a title like Dad did once upon a time? We shall see. And here for the call of the game, Dave Bernhard and Mark Lindo.
Well, thank you very much, Lee. And you know, this 4A tournament started 3 weeks ago, and most basketball experts across the state said this was going to be a wide open field, but with great teams. We have two of them tonight. First of all, Whitney Young.
Whitney Young with 9 losses. They still know there's no venue they haven't been at. There's no stage they haven't played in front of. No bigger stage than tonight. They are where they think they belong, even though the pundits maybe had them out of sight just a few weeks ago.
Well, as Lee mentioned, Waukegan features a University of Illinois recruit, Jeremy Richmond. They are outstanding.
Well, Waukegan stumbled twice at Christmas, but mid-year they were #1 as well. They're electric. They can put on some pressure defensively. They can score in bunches. They got a couple stars, and they also thought they'd be in the big stage playing for a championship tonight, and they have that opportunity here in Carver Arena.
Let's take a look at how these teams got here. First of all, for Whitney Young, the Dolphins knocking off Morton by 10. They were down by 6 entering the fourth quarter against De La Salle before pulling out that win. A 15-point win over Hyde Park, and then last night, Whitney Young trailed 16-2 in the first quarter before Marcus Jordan came up huge. For Waukegan, a very tough road for them, knocking off Zion Benton. And then Jeremy Richmond, 31 points, 10 rebounds, and a half-court game-winning shot to defeat Warren. Glenbrook North fell in the Super Sectional last night. The Bulldogs running out to a 15-0 lead. Colin Nickerson leading the way in that one. Well, as we spotlight our key players, it's not just because his dad is the greatest basketball player of all time, but we feature Marcus Jordan.
Hey, it's showtime tonight. How about Marcus Jordan last night? 3 points for the half, but 22 points overall. 6 out of 9 field goals, 9 out of 10 for the free throw line at crunch time. 31 minutes. He just flat out took over the basketball game in the second half. A rising star, much like his brother, much like his father.
And if our theme tonight is Chicago Bulls basketball, well, if Michael Jordan was in the house, so was Scottie Pippen. If Jeremy Richmond is there, Colin Nickerson will pick it up.
Colin Nickerson, how about the Fairfield recruit? Maybe the second guy in command behind Richmond, but 11 for 17 last night from the floor. Just a flat-out lockdown defender. Hey, watch the matchup. Will he be on Marcus Jordan tonight? That'll be flat-out fun if that occurs.
Indeed. Hey, our keys to the ball game brought to you by the Tire and Wheel Experts, Waukegan Tire, with locations in Waukegan, Park City, and Grays Lake. Your Whitney Young keys of the game in a 4A championship battle.
They need to jam Jeremy, run a couple, 2 and 3 people, and play a little bit of bump and grind to try to wear him down. Take care. Waukegan forced 23 turnovers last night. Marcus Jordan, Chris Colvin have to handle the ball, and then poise and passion. This is a very cerebral team. They're intelligent, they're great decision makers, and they have the passion to do what's needed to win a ball game.
And for Waukegan, this is what they need to do.
They need to D it again. They have to be disruptive. They have to create mayhem. They have to run and jump and take Whitney Young out of their comfort zone. 94 feet, use the whole court, utilize their team speed, the open floor, get that transition game going, and then double trouble. How far can Jeremy Richmond and Colin Nickerson carry this team? They have one more opportunity on the big stage tonight.
This place is electric. Let's get it started. Let's go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for America's original March Madness. This 4A championship game for the boys in 2009 features the Dolphins of Whitney Young, a record of 25-9, and the Waukegan Bulldogs, a record of 26-4. And now to honor America. Please stand, remove your caps, and pause for a moment of silence to remember the men and women of the armed forces serving us here and around the world, away from their families, protecting our freedom. Thank you as we thank them. Now please address the flag with your hand over your heart as our soloist, Karina DeJohn-Filippo, a senior at Hinsdale Central High School, sings our national anthem.
Oh, say can you broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, let's meet the starting lineups for the 4A championship game featuring the Whitney Young Dolphins and the Waukegan Bulldogs. At a guard for Whitney Young, a 6'3" senior, number 5, Marcus Jordan. At a guard for Waukegan, a 5'10" junior, number 1, Mike Springs. Another guard for the Dolphins, a 6'2" senior, 2, Chris Colvin. Another guard for the Bulldogs, a 5'9" sophomore, 20, Aaron Johnson. At center for Whitney Young, a 6'8" senior, 5, Stanford Brown. The third guard for Waukegan, a 6'1" junior, 24, Quan Conner. And a forward for the Dolphins, a 6'5" senior, 20, Franklin Griffin. And a forward for Waukegan, a 6'7" junior, 23, Jeremy Richmond. The other forward for Whitney Young is 6'6", sophomore, 25, Sam Thompson. The other forward for Waukegan, a 6'3" junior, 30, Colin Nickerson. Head coach for Whitney Young, 4 years at the school, a record of 91-35, Tyrone Slaughter. Head coach for 9 years, 2 at Waukegan, a record of 29-18, Ron Ashlaw. As the players and coaches wish each other good luck at half court, the IHSA, its board of directors and member schools expect and promote good sportsmanship from all athletes, coaches, students, parents, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and the officials in a positive manner. Do what's right. No other state in America can claim the rich history and tradition that has been generated by March Madness in Illinois. It's America's original March Madness. Direct your attention to the arena floor and meet the officials for this game. The referee, from Elgin, Jim Dinkeller. From Wheaton, Rob Watson. And from St. Charles, Dave King. Presenting the game ball for this title game will be Matt Hustetter, financial representative for Country Financial Services, one of the sponsors of the March Madness experience next door in the exhibit hall. We thank Country Financial for their contribution to the greatest high school single event in the land.
So the teams meeting at center court to exchange handshakes, and that was brought to you by Walgreens. Walgreens is a proud sponsor of the IHSA's Do What's Right, Good Sportsmanship campaign. Your starting lineups brought to you by Meijer. Check us out at shopformeijer.com. Those 10 players will be playing for the Class 4A state championship.
Hey, it's showtime. We got 32 minutes of entertainment going on tonight, and you got two heavyweights going to get after each other from the opening tip.
Waukegan with that opening grab. The Dolphins from Whitney Young in the bright, bright orange. This is Mike Springs. Colin Nickerson. Jordan has him. Nickerson buries the first shot of this game.
What a great matchup, and we drove Jordan back on his heels. He pulled up and off 1 foot. Nickerson picked up where he left off yesterday. He drilled one from 17 sweetly.
We wonder whether he was going to look the other way. Rejection by Richmond. Here comes Aaron Johnson. Stops, pops. And a rebound to Marcus Jordan. We were wondering about the matchup the other way. Nickerson is on Chris Colvin. It will be Springs on Jordan. Quick move inside. Sam Thompson off the glass.
Great job by Thompson right there. The catch, the one shot fake, and then he was able to square his body up and kiss it off the glass. We're going to have an up-tempo game tonight. It should be fun one to watch.
Aaron Johnson, a sophomore. Only one senior in the starting lineup. That's Nickerson. He lets it fly. And a rebound, a big snag out of there by Stanford Brown. Height advantage to the Dolphins here tonight. Whitney Young has Ahmad Starks and Anthony Johnson, normally starters and Division I recruits. They're on the bench nursing injuries. They will see minutes tonight. Brown struggles with possession. It will go to Waukegan.
Brown right there trying to put the ball on the floor from about 17 feet away, and Jeremy Richmond right there to get his hand on the basketball off Brown's leg.
Well, state champs in 1998, coached by George Stanton from Whitney Young. Richmond with the walk.
Whitney Young, somewhat surprising to me. They're choosing to pick up full court. They're saying, hey, we're going to try to match the tempo, intensity, and speed of Waukegan.
Fourth place finish for Waukegan. They were also down here in 1975, lost in the quarterfinals. The other time they were down was in 1959 when they upset Marshall in the super sectionals. This is Marcus Jordan. 22 points and 6 boards last night. Chris Colvin has done it all year. Bags the three.
Iowa State recruit with a sweet little stroke from the 19-9.
Nickerson around Colvin. Finds Johnson. Bang!
Great distribution on the baseline. No weak side rotation. Wide open. Spotted up was Johnson.
There appears to be no nerves out here tonight. Offensive board, put back Brown.
Athleticism in abundance on Carver Arena's floor. Great. Hit the floor, back up by Brown on that offensive rebound.
Numbers for the Bulldogs if they wanted them. Richmond, we saw him light up a few threes last night. Nickerson, nothing. The ball in a 2-point lead for Whitney Young, 24-9. They've played in 8 different states this year. Stanford Brown, flat-footed shot is good.
They've been to Hawaii, California, Florida, the East Coast, the West Coast. There's no venue, no stage they haven't been on.
Stripped by Jordan, denying Richmond the path to the basket. A fast-paced opening, but what would you expect? Whitney Young by 4 here early on the IHSA TV network.
No, I mean, we coach 12 different young people on our varsity team, and we have 12 different parents that oversee what we do with their children. And our objective is to do what's right by all 12 of those kids, and it's been absolutely no difference with Michael Jordan's son. So it's been really kind of seamless.
In the house, Marcus was quoted as saying, "My dad's really helped me with my game. He does a lot of things with me in the gym and watching film. And watching film with Michael Jordan, how can you not learn from the master?"
You know, and even then, it was tough for Marcus early on in his basketball career. A lot of younger folks said, well, you'll never be as good as your dad. Well, who is and will ever be as good as Michael Jordan? And obviously he has stayed tough, he has stayed strong, and he's gotten himself into a state title game. Richmond. Nice job of helping defense. Nickerson on the fadeaway, and the skying rebound from Colvin. But that's what Waukegan does right there. You show the ball, and you're going to get tied up or ripped. And Quan Conner that time forces the held ball.
Well, there's no doubt about it. They scored 28 points off turnovers last night. That's quite a bit, the way they got transition. Very instrumental in their drubbing of Dundee Crown on the semifinal win.
Colvin and Nickerson, very interesting. Now here's Springs and Jordan. They switch. Tough shot. Richmond out of midair. Conner to Richmond. Traffic and a foul.
Great job by Quan Conner as he saw the give and go. And Richmond followed his pass with a cut down the lane, moving without the basketball, the inside cut. Defensively, Whitney Young did not jump to the basketball into the passing lane. Thus, Richmond gets his first opportunity from the charity stripe.
And just barely grazed the rim. We're going to see a lot of orange jerseys swarming on number 23.
76% shooter on the year. That one looked ugly, but he'll drain this one cleanly.
9-6, Whitney Young. We've hit the midway point of the first quarter.
Marcus Jordan loves to utilize ball screens. That time he does it on his own.
Richmond the rebound. That's one of the concerns of Waukegan is their rebounding game. Nickerson the loose possession. Jordan with it. Marcus Jordan flying through the lane. And they'll set it up.
Great job by Waukegan. Every time drive, draw, and dish by Whitney Young. Boom, there was a white shirt right there. Help side defense.
The lefty Jordan for three.
Jordan last night had played 31 minutes. He was 9 out of 10 from the foul line, 8 for 10 from the yard or from the field, and he picks up right where he left off.
Richmond creating. And this time Conner will get whistled for the foul.
You want to watch this game, you got to watch this game above the rim, 10 feet and up. There's not much action taking place on the floor besides our loose ball scrums, but there's an awful lot of athleticism above the 10 tonight.
They'll just clear out here for Colvin. Colvin, the only player other than Jordan, as he bags another three. Marcus Jordan having a great tournament. Jordan averaging 10 points a game. Colvin the only one close for Whitney Young at 9.9 a game.
Jordan showing just a quick release. Boom, the flick of the wrist and the follow through.
Johnson, the sophomore.
He's going to be a good one. He shot that ball in traffic. Great elevation as he was able to jump stop and go straight vertical.
Tough matchup for Mike Springs. Outstanding defensive player for Waukegan guarding Marcus Jordan, but he gives away about 5 inches and 50 pounds to Jordan.
Jordan's going to try to take him right to the rack.
He gets there and finishes it.
Great recognition by Marcus Jordan. He saw that matchup, you did, but a lot of times athletes on the floor don't recognize that Marcus Jordan did.
Springs shot block. Whitney Young dominating here early, 17-8.
What's amazing is Whitney Young is dominating this game basically at a pace that you would think Waukegan would most likely be the beneficiary of.
Looking for a 5 count, they get it. Tyrone Slaughter, the head coach of the Dolphins in his 4th year, not happy. Ron Ashlaw in his 2nd season at Waukegan, looking to weather this early storm.
Quan Conner with a great defensive stand right there. One thing you want to do on defense is stay lower than your opponent. If you can stay lower than your opponent and get that center of gravity, you'll be able to move with anybody horizontally, stay in front of the basketball, and get that 5 count chopping.
The Dolphins not making it easy tonight. Their defense has improved. We saw it last night, keying that win over Thornton after falling behind by 14 in the first quarter. Their defense come on strong late in the season, especially here in the tournament.
Key so far, Jeremy Richmond, only 1 shot attempt.
Franklin Griffin, the steal, the score, and an 11-point lead for Whitney Young.
In the passing lane, they tried to get the ball to Richmond. Franklin Griffin right there with a steal and another steal.
This one off the hands of Thompson. And the other way, Whitney Young making it happen. Chris Colvin the basket, and that forces Waukegan into a timeout. A 13-point Whitney Young lead.
Call the doctor, because right now Whitney Young's putting on a clinic, no doubt about that, in the open floor. Colvin to the 10, the finish, which causes the timeout.
Johnson at the top at midcourt spun. That's where the help defense came. That's where the pick led. And obviously Michael Jordan has seen that many times in his career, and he has to like what he sees on his son's team tonight.
Well, I tell you what, all we did was sing the praises of the just intense, non-stop defensive pressure by Waukegan. But boom, the tables are turned right now. Whitney Young flat out getting after it defensively, making deflections, getting in the passing lanes, getting steals, creating havoc, and they are running for fun right now in the open floor. A clinic right now by Whitney Young. 21 points on the board already.
Members of the Dog Pound, huge contingent here from Waukegan, have to kind of sit back in their seats here in the early going as the Dolphins have just taken it to them. Whitney Young, you know, you take a look at their record, 9 losses, okay, and you say, well, what are they doing here? Well, they may have played the toughest schedule ever by any school ever in the state of Illinois. We talked about traveling all over the country. I mean, how about these? Recognize these national powers: St. Benedict's of New Jersey, Oak Hill Academy, Virginia, Montrose Christian, DeMatha High School out of Maryland, Mater Dei, St. Anthony in New Jersey. All teams they have played, and sure, they've picked up some losses along the way.
You know, Tyrone Slaughter said the travel wasn't about getting ready for March. It was about the experience for the kids. But how could that travel not have prepared them for this kind of venue? I think it was a twofold thing. What an opportunity for the kids, outstanding educationally and academically. The travel had to, you know, they took their books with them, but it has prepared them for center stage tonight.
You're playing in front of about 10,000 people on the final game of the season, and they have been a poised bunch. Here's Nickerson working on Jordan. That'll be a foul on Marcus Jordan.
What they did there is came out of the timeout, a clear out on the right side, trying to see if Marcus Jordan can stay with Nickerson. The obvious answer is he can, but it would be a big boon to Waukegan's cause if they could get Marcus Jordan in any kind of foul trouble and make him sit some minutes. He's going to sit down right now.
But yet 2 Division I players, future Division I players, come into the game. Number 3, Ahmad Starks. Number 24, Anthony Johnson for Whitney Young. But Quan Conner knocks 3 points off of that Whitney Young lead. This is Ahmad Starks with it. Starks headed to Oregon State. Starks, you see the bandage on his left wrist, fractured his wrist in a collision with Marcus Jordan prior to the regionals starting. So he's had to come off the bench. Only played a couple of games here in the entire playoffs.
See if we get a close-up of that bandage on Ahmad Starks, number 3. Trying to fight through that, and has cost him those minutes.
There it is, Ahmad Starks. You know, and for the bone to be broken in there, and you're playing less than 3 weeks later, you know how important games like this are.
Well, you got to have guts if you're looking for the glory, and that's what they're looking for tonight, the glory of a title.
5 Division I recruits on this Whitney Young roster.
Marcus Jordan not committed. Davidson, Oklahoma, and who's
Toledo.
the last one? Toledo on his final 3.
Conner trying to make something happen. Quan Conner with it. Can't get it to Richmond. Nice job defensively by Anthony Johnson, number 24 for Whitney Young. He's headed to Purdue.
Team defense by Whitney Young. The key is Jeremy Richmond only 1 field goal attempt in the first quarter, because this swarming and double and triple teaming is Whitney Young.
One last attempt here for the Bulldogs from Waukegan. Nickerson one-on-one on Starks. Springs. Smacked out of there. Johnson at the buzzer, nearly goes! And that brings to an end a scintillating first quarter here from Carver Arena. The Whitney Young Dolphins 21, Waukegan 11, nearly a prayer at the buzzer. Back after these local messages.
Marcus Jordan playing for a state title here. His dad made his professional debut here in Carver Arena back in 1984, an exhibition game for the Bulls back when they wore those shorty shorts before the Michael Jordan shorts came into vogue. That was back in 1984. They played again here in 1995 in an exhibition game, and everybody knows about Michael's career. But what about Marcus's mother? Juanita Jordan was a great basketball player in her own right at Chicago Fenger. She graduated the year before Fenger went to state and made the Elite Eight. So it's not just dad with the basketball genes, guys. They come from mom, too.
And all is right with the Jordan family in a 10-point lead at the end of one quarter. You know, in fact, Marcus Jordan in his first game on this floor last night outscored his dad. Michael had 18 points when the Bulls played here. Marcus had 22 last night.
Pretty good performance, and he had 19 in the second half, which really catapulted his team into championship contention tonight.
Waukegan struggling, more so than a lot of folks would have thought after 8 minutes.
Well, only one shot attempt for Jeremy Richmond. Whitney Young is putting 2 and 3 guys, him at a time, daring somebody else to beat him. Really good backside help. Richmond can't get off the snide whatsoever.
Here are your first quarter stats brought to you by Bernhard. Save big money at Bernhard.
Both teams with 13 and 12 field goal attempts, but Whitney Young been hotter than a pistol, and cold as ice has been Waukegan. That's a telltale sign. Also, Waukegan with a little bit of a lead, or Whitney Young rebound-wise.
What a block by Chris Colvin. He's able to save it and get a timeout besides.
Rob Watson ran the call. You see the entry to Quan Conner and the rejection overruled in there. Colvin tries to run it down. He does, and calls timeout, saves possession. So Colvin, with the great hustle play, not only makes the block, but then saves possession for his team.
Well, he did about 4 different things there because Quan Conner did a great job. He goes up. Colvin goes up with him. Conner hesitates. Colvin hangs in the air, avoids the contact, and then when he goes out of bounds with the ball, he's able to turn in midair so the official can see his timeout call.
Only one thing you can talk about that, and that's being totally athletic. Chris Colvin is that. That's why he's a Division I player. Tell you what, we sing in the praises of Waukegan in our open about their deflections, their mayhem, their craziness on defense. We are charting something. They only have a grand total of 0 deflections in the first quarter, where on the other side of the ledger, Whitney Young's gotten their hand on the basketball defensively 8 times. So the tables have turned. Whitney Young much more aggressive, much more in attack mode defensively, and that's why they have that 21-11 lead.
Folks all over the world can watch IHSA action on foxjocks.com. So if you're home watching us on the IHSA TV network and you know of some relatives, friends, family across the globe, give them a call. foxjocks.com. They'll be able to see what you're seeing. Ahmad Starks with it for the Dolphins from Whitney Young. They hold that 10-point lead. Johnson right on top of Starks. Marcus Jordan came back in at the last dead ball at the quarter.
Good spacing by Whitney Young. They want to spread, attack, drive, draw, dish, and kick.
Anthony Johnson can shoot it.
That play really made by Starks, but finished by Johnson. Great team basketball, spreading their offense by Whitney Young.
4 3-pointers already for the Dolphins. They've made 4 out of 5 from outside the arc. Richmond's passes smacked away. Starks. And the clinic continues.
And you know what? What's really amazing is Waukegan looked in such rhythm the last 2 times we saw them. Very uncomfortable right now in their half-court offense, just not in sync whatsoever.
Another block inside. Again, it's Antonio Johnson. Anthony can't get it off.
They want a backdoor lob when they call trip. Never set it up.
Colvin does not get the roll. Richmond the board.
Yeah, they just didn't set up with Tyrone Slaughter-Watt, and Coach Slaughter not very happy about that. One of the few mistakes they made.
Richmond forced to shoot from 20 feet out. Johnson's shot is altered. Possession to the Dolphins.
4 out of 16 now, counting those 2 misses for Waukegan. I'm not a math teacher like you were, but that's 25%, and that's because of the relentless, persistent passion right now that Whitney Young Dolphins are swimming on right now.
You turn it around the other way. Out of their 16 shots, Whitney Young has made 11. Colvin fouled by Springs as he turns the corner.
Jim Dinkheller right there on the call. Colvin saw an avenue to the basket, but Springs stopped that. A good foul, otherwise it would have been a 2.
You know, as aggressive as this game has been played, and I know we're just in the first couple minutes here of this second quarter, but that's only the 4th foul combined on these 2 teams. Oh my goodness. Antonio Johnson skies. Colvin. Johnson. Anthony Johnson. He goes to the line.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 attempts. If we get a chance to see that rebound, you'll see a clinic you'll see a clinic on quick offensive rebounding. First lob pass, the tomahawk, the miss, but there's one miss. The long rebound came out about 14 feet. Colvin beats him to the basketball, and after that, there were at least 2 more attempts. Whitney Young just quicker to the ball tonight in the first half.
Anthony Johnson off the bench. How about that? You bring an Oregon State recruit, a Purdue University recruit off your bench.
Not too shabby.
You know what that has done is given people like Franklin Griffin, Sam Thompson, Stanford Brown, people who have stepped in the lineup for Anthony Johnson and Ahmad Starks when they left with injuries, a chance for them to get meaningful minutes in games, and early. 17-point lead for Whitney Young over Waukegan. The Bulldogs coming in 25-4. 2 of the losses for Waukegan coming at the holiday time. And still nothing goes down for Richmond. He hangs his head momentarily. The other way we go. Anthony Johnson, offensive foul.
You called it great play-by-play man, Dave Bernhard, because you saw Jeremy Richmond put his head down. When your team leader puts his head down, you're asking for trouble. He's got to pick it up. Great job inside, taking the charge right there, stepping in late. Probably a dozen charges on the year, on this tournament so far.
Springs. Oh, nice move inside. It was just a little head move that freed him up.
Acceleration that you just can't teach by Mike Springs in the open floor. 5'10", 180, and explosive.
Starks gets the kind hop. 4 points for the 5'8" junior. Richmond surrounded. Again, alters his shot. Conner will get the putback.
Conner's been one bright spot for the Bulldogs thus far.
Starks can shoot it. Now Waukegan will look to cut into this lead. Whitney Young has it doubled up. Rebound came out a little bit too long for Richmond. More contact, no whistle. And now we get the whistle sounding as Antonio Johnson muscled his way in.
You want a lot of X and O's? There's none going on right now. It's up and down racehorse basketball, but athleticism, speed, quickness, just taking over on the floor. A lot of unselfish plays, but both, especially Whitney and Young, really setting the tone defensively.
Antonio Johnson, strong young man, 6'4", 220-pound senior. A soft touch at the line.
Antonio Johnson just 53%, but he looked like he knew what he was doing on that one.
Sam Thompson checks back into the Whitney Young lineup. Bottom of the net for Antonio Johnson, and with that we come to a timeout halfway through the second quarter. A 17-point Whitney Young lead. Back with more from Carver Arena after these words from your local station.
You see Jeremy Richmond, the All-Stater, the Illini recruit, with that tattoo on his right arm. Dave and I had a chance to visit with him the other day. He said that tattoo basically means basketball is everything to me. That's his passion for the game. He does have another tattoo. It's on his chest. We won't see that one, but that's between he and his brother, basically saying we're blood brothers and we love each other.
And he would like to love basketball a little bit more right now because Jeremy Richmond with just one free throw. Colin Nickerson with an early field goal, so that's just 3 points combined for Richmond, who averages over 20 points a game. Nickerson at 19, and neither one of them have scored for Waukegan in the last 8 minutes. They trail by 17. One false move, and the turnover goes to Whitney Young. Waukegan scrambling the way they want to. However, Whitney Young ends up with it. Again, Antonio Johnson goes high, can't get it to go. And a foul will be called on the Whitney Young Dolphins.
Once again, the best part of that last sequence was that Whitney Young had 2 and 3 hands around the basketball. Who came up with it? Marcus Jordan. They got the clean look 3. They didn't get it done, but they're winning every loose ball battle right now.
They're out rebounding Waukegan 17-9. Rebounding has been a point of emphasis for this Waukegan team. Nickerson, the block by Jordan. Richmond, though, will get the putback.
Finally a field goal. He's 1 out of 5. Maybe that will get him started. His facial expression needs to pick up because his team needs to rally around him.
Now they have, Waukegan has Aaron Johnson on Marcus Jordan, a little bit bigger body. Less experience. Colvin to the paint, he'll try to do it himself. Springs, there's Johnson. Richmond, for the slam!
Great job by Johnson. He could have finished that, but then he said, no, you go ahead and flush it, Richmond. That excites the crowd a little bit more. Unselfish play by the Bulldogs, trying to creep back in.
So one maybe ill-advised shot by Chris Colvin turns into a slam the other way. And you can see the defensive pressure being ratcheted up a little bit here by Waukegan. They trail by 13, however.
Offense feeds off defense. Defense feeds off offense. It's a symmetrical combination.
Off the missed shot, here comes the pressure. Conner. Richmond didn't want the three. Tried to do too much on that possession. I think if he had it back, he would have gone up with the 3 ball.
Good job by Tyrone. Slaughter tells Marcus Jordan, slow it down, get us in a half-court set. We said this was a stop-and-go team. They can get after run up and down the floor, but they can also get their half-court stuff going.
The Dolphins have gone a little bit cold. And look at this pressure off the missed shot attempt. Whitney Young attempting to do what their girls team was unable to do a couple of weeks ago in the Class 4A girls basketball finals. Whitney Young girls finished second to Bolingbrook. Whitney Young boys playing in a title game. They're looking to bring home that #1 trophy. Leading 32-19. Johnson, Conner, 3. That would have been a big one.
Good ball movement out of the double team. They got a wide open look, just weren't able to finish the deal.
90 seconds to play in the first half. What a matchup that is there. Unable to hang and score is Sam Thompson. Conner, a chance for a 3-point play and an intentional foul on Anthony Johnson.
Dave King right down there, intentional foul. We see the explosive over court by Quan Conner. And then from behind, we see the foul. It'll be the bucket after the bump, and then the intentional foul.
Anthony Johnson fouling Aaron Johnson. Chance to make it a 10-point game.
Quan Conner with 7 points.
Conner on that last drive, of course. He goes to the line.
So this one's, creeping back in as Waukegan. You can feel almost starting to change sides right now. You'd expect this game to have some ebbs and flows, and this is the first flow, if you will, for the Bulldogs, who got a little bit of bite in them right now.
4-point play.
And the rock.
And the lead down to 9. And the sophomore Aaron Johnson gives it up. Got caught where he didn't want to be. As we hit 60 seconds to play in the first half. Whitney Young trying to build on the lead. Loose ball is starting to go the way of Waukegan right now.
They're getting their hand on the ball. A lot more deflections, a lot more intensity defensively.
Conner, Johnson. Both coming up empty. The rebound to Thompson. Here comes Colvin. Anthony Johnson looking for somebody in an orange uniform. Nickerson. And a blocking foul with 22.5 to play in the first half. Wow.
You see Nickerson, the Fairfield recruit, just exploding to the basket, trying to rotate over Whitney Young. Was Franklin Griffin. He just couldn't get there right now. Waukegan is the one, even though they're trailing, they have the momentum. They are being the aggressors, and their defense is picked up, and they have turned this thing around completely with the intensity. They're getting their hand on the ball on a consistent basis with their defensive prowess.
Marcus Jordan along with Antonio Johnson back into the game or Whitney Young. Anthony Johnson will leave. As Nickerson goes to the line.
You have two long and athletic basketball teams. The wingspans cover sideline to sideline.
Only the third point of the night for Colin Nickerson. As Ron Ashlaw has played just 5 players here in the first half.
With a fatigue factor set in, but he knew he had to keep these guys in. He couldn't let the game get away from him completely. So far, a good coaching decision.
32-25. Waukegan on a 12-2 run. And they picked the great time for it. Whitney Young, final possession of the half. Nice pass, Jordan. Deflection and a foul. And a foul to be charged against Nickerson.
See Nickerson, the penetration by Marcus Jordan. He looks to his right, looks his man off to the left. And Nickerson comes in late and he draws the foul, maybe a tough one. Stanford Brown, the beneficiary of a tough call, hangs to the rim after the fact. No technical there because he was trying to protect himself.
Brown 2 free throws, 68% free throw shooter.
Plenty of time for Mike Springs to get the ball in his hand, go coast to coast, either try to finish or look for him to throw the ball back outside to Colin Nickerson for a possible three-point attempt.
Nothing going down for the Dolphins. And with 6.4 left, Waukegan a chance to cut this lead down from 7. They trailed by as many as 17 with 4:05 to play in this quarter.
Springs is going to get it and go. See if he can create a shot for Nickerson on the outside.
Whistle blows with 0.3 of a second left. Whitney Young touching it on that sideline. Antonio Johnson.
Now the rule states you can catch and have possession with 0.3 or above. Below 0.3 of a second, there's not a possibility to get a shot, only a tip. So you do have the rule ability for catching a shot here.
There's the catch, there's the shot, it will not go, and our first half comes to a close. A 17-point lead, cut to 7 on a quarter-ending 12-2 Waukegan run. Whitney Young 32, Waukegan 25 as the Dolphins make their way past Michael Jordan into their locker room, and let's go to Lee Hall.
All right, we're with Tyrone Slaughter. Coach, things got away from you guys a little bit there in the second quarter.
Yeah, you know, we actually got bad. We became a bad basketball team for about 6 minutes. We started taking some ill-advised shots. We couldn't take care of the basketball. People dribbling with no place to go and no one to pass it to. So it's something we'll talk about in the locker room. And I think we hit them with a pretty good shot, so we'll see where we are.
And then when that kind of thing happens, the other team kind of senses that, and their defensive intensity picks up, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like a, you know, it's like an aphrodisiac. It makes you feel good, and they just went after it. So we'll be all right.
All right, good luck to you second half, Coach. Thank you. All right, back after this on the IHSA TV network.
And Greg Bradley of Mount Zion, board-appointed treasurer. At this time, we'd like you to meet the Chargers of Dundee Crown, 4th place in 4A for this year, their record of 24-7. Meet the superintendent of Dundee Crown, Dr. Ken Arndt. Principal, Lynn McCarthy. Athletic Director, Richard Storm. Trainer, Mike Hanna. Head coach, Lance Huber. Assistant coach, Bob Sweeney. Assistant coach, Dave Alters. Assistant coach, Jim DeLong. student assistant Thomas Klein. And now the Chargers players. 2, Aaron Reams. 3, Jeff Beck. 4, Colin McCarthy. 5, Justin Strelchek. 10, Gregory McNally. 12, Drew McMenamin. 13, Kevin Cronin. 15, Sean Bernhard. 21, Robert Stupar. 23, Ryan Smith. 24, Connor Martin. 25, Ryan Hagan. 32, Jeffrey Clifford. 33, Charles Kimbrough. And 34, Marcus Henry. The fourth place Chargers of Dundee crowned 2009 4A boys. And now let's meet the Dolphins of Whitney Young. CPS Director of Sports Administration, correction. Superintendent of Harvey Thornton, Dr. J. Kamala Buckner. Principal, Dr. Bethany Light. Athletic Director, Bill Mosel. Athletic Trainer, Greg Hughes. Harvey Thornton Head Coach, Troy Jackson. Assistant Coach, Eric Armstrong. Assistant Coach, Marcus Bates. Assistant Coach, Keithan Holmes. Assistant Coach, Roger Chirala. And now the Harvey Thornton Wildcat players. Number 10, Berry Louie. 11, Dante Tolbert. 12, Darrell Robinson. 14, Michael Buckner. 15, Marcus Franklin. 23, Jay Parker. 24, Jermaine Young. 31, Richie Thompson. 32, Reggie Smith. 33, Dennis Chrysler. 34, Jamal Gray. 42, Kendall Love. 43, Bernhard Brain. 44, Cantrell Griffin. And 45, Trevell Rivers. The Harvey Thornton Wildcats, third place, 2009 4A. Now will Coach Huber and the captains of Dundee Crown step forward to receive the 4th place trophy. Congratulations, Chargers of Dundee Crown. Now will Coach Jackson and the captains of Harvey Thornton step forward and receive the 3rd place trophy. Congratulations to the Wildcats of Harvey Thornton, 3rd place, 4A 2009. Congratulations to both teams, their administration, teachers, and fans for a great season, great effort here in Central Illinois this week.
Congratulations to Harvey Thornton and Dundee Crown on their finishes here at state. Back after this local timeout.
Here are the statistics from the first half of the championship game.
And welcome back to our National Association of Realtors halftime show. The NAR wants to remind you that buying a home is an investment in your future. Whether buying or selling a home, contact a realtor, a member of the NAR. It's the Dolphins with a 7-point lead over Waukegan at the half, 32-25. It was 17 earlier in the half, and we've got some new friends back here, Coach. They're here from Waukegan. All right. Lee Hall, Anthony Longstreet, former coach in Chicago, Crane here at the half. And really, I said this to you in the break, kind of a weird first half. I mean, it was all Whitney Young. They were up 17 with 4 minutes to go, and then, it's like they flipped the switch, and Waukegan's defensive intensity got better. Whitney couldn't buy a shot, and here we are, a 7-point game at the break.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And actually, the tell of the story is that Whitney Young, they had I believe a 16. They went on a 16-2 run in the first quarter, and then Waukegan, they finished the quarter off on a 12-2 run. So just a game of runs right now.
Take a look at our stats brought to us by Bernhard. Save big money at Bernhard's. Whitney Young, 12 of 27 from the field. Waukegan, 9 of 28. Both teams getting to the line 6 times. 4 of 7 behind the arc for Whitney Young. They win the rebounding edge there, 20-15 on the boards.
Yeah, and as I said before the game, I thought that whoever wins the battle of the rebound will probably win this game.
12 points off turnovers for Whitney Young, 4 for Waukegan. All the other stats pretty close. Marcus Jordan with 8, Colvin and Anthony Johnson with 5 each for Whitney Young. Conner leading the way for Waukegan with 9 points.
Yeah, we're looking at 8 points by Jordan. Those 8 points actually came in that 16-2 run in the first quarter. And like I said before the game, I thought whoever Springs were guarding, that's who they were going to go to. So he got those 8 points in that run, but after that, he didn't score anymore.
For Whitney Young, halftime couldn't come soon enough, and Waukegan didn't want to see that half end. What do they have to do to keep this kind of momentum going in the second half?
I think they need to pick up the defensive pressure. The other thing is right now they're not getting anything from Richmond and Nicholson, which is their bread and butter. So those guys pick it up. We could be in for an interesting second.
All right, it looked like a blowout. It's a 7-point game here at the break. We've got 16 more minutes of basketball here in the season in Illinois basketball. We'll get the ball rolling after this local timeout. Back at Carver Arena, we're with Ron Ashlaw, head coach at Waukegan. Coach, you didn't want that half to end. Boy, that defensive intensity really picked up for your guys there late in the second quarter.
Yeah, we had told our guys it was a long time since they had scored. And we made some adjustments with how we're guarding the basketball and where our help side players are. What we need to focus on is when things don't go well on the offensive end, we have to transition back and play on this end.
All right, good luck to you second half, Coach. Dave, one other note, Quan Conner, he hurt himself there early in the first half, came down kind of hard on that left wrist. He does have it wrapped here to start the second half.
All right, Conner, a very important member of that Waukegan team, both offensively and defensively. And defensively, Mark, 6 minutes and 45 seconds. The last 6:45, 1 field goal for Whitney Young.
Well, I thought very disruptive of Waukegan's defense be. We saw it all last night. We expected tonight. They were very passive the first 8 or 9 minutes, but they came out like gangbusters and got themselves right back into this basketball game.
However, the game started strongly with Whitney Young. As we take a look at the highlights from the first half, the Dolphins exploding out of the gate and One of the men doing the damage, number 5, Marcus Jordan.
Marcus Jordan spots up, gets the kick out, and he has nothing but net. He hit 2 of those on the ball reversal, put the steal in the passing lane, and there goes Franklin Griffin with the steal and the kiss off the glass. Then the open floor right there, Quan Conner squares it up, elevates, and tickles the twine from 25 feet, 22 feet. Inside out, good pass right there. Anthony Johnson, the beneficiary of that kick out, good inside out basketball. Good spin move right there. Quan Conner's going to go hard after the offensive rebound. Comes up with it, a crowd. Takes it back up strong with a kiss. And then the final thing that we'll see right here is the extra pass, the finish, the flush. Jeremy Richmond gets himself involved in the offense.
Whitney Young was electric in the first 9 minutes. Jeremy Richmond, Colin Nickerson, only 9 points for Waukegan. They come in averaging 40. We've got a great second half coming up. Stay right there on the IHSA TV network. With Lee Hall and Mark Lindo, I'm Dave Bernhard. This is your 4A state championship game for 2009, and the Whitney Young Dolphins lead by 7. They led by as many as 17. They had a 16-2 run, but as we closed out the first half, it was a 12-2 run by Waukegan. And a lot of folks that have been all jacked up about this one, and reason to be so. The first half not disappointing.
Michael Jordan, he's jacked up as well. His son played a pretty good first half, but Whitney Young rattled by the defensive prowess of the last 5-6 minutes of the first half by Waukegan. Waukegan, although trailing 32-25, they have seized momentum in this basketball game. Coaches talk about the first 3 minutes. I think that's really in play tonight. Is Whitney Young going to be able to extend the lead, or is Waukegan going to creep ever closer and give us a 32 minutes of excitement?
Whitney Young got 21 minutes off their bench, and they outscored the Waukegan bench 11-0. Ahmad Starks, Anthony Johnson, and Antonio Johnson. Marcus Jordan will have it to start for Whitney Young here in the second half. Nearly a pick. Jordan, though, will get the first 2 of this second half for Whitney Young.
Jordan time was third quarter, second half last night. He comes with the first possession. Nickerson almost gets a steal. Jordan able to keep control and finish the bump.
Jeremy Richmond on the drive. He's looking for a goaltending call. He's not going to get it, but he will get 2 free throws.
Jeremy Richmond with a little bit of late help by the Whitney Young defense, but Richmond came up with a statement that I'm going to take the ball to the rack. He needs to be much more involved. Only 5 points the first half, and they get him a touch early, takes the ball strong to the rack.
You know, and you wonder whether that was part of the game plan as well at the half, is let's get Richmond the ball in some open floor and let him do what he does.
It's well documented. He missed last year, dismissed from the team by Ron Ashlock. He told you and I the biggest thing he learned is how much I missed my teammates, quote from Jeremy Richmond.
Jordan will get it to Brown. Up top, Colvin. Jordan guarded now by Quan Conner. They put 3 different players on Marcus Jordan here tonight. He's able to find a man inside, but unable to finish the deal is Franklin Griffin. Conner, nifty dish inside, and is swatted away by Stanford Brown, but that will be a foul.
Stanford Brown came from nowhere on the weak side, but got too much arm. Great penetration. Nickerson used his body. He took the bump and the hard hit by Stanford Brown, but Nickerson has a chance to get his team just an inch and a little bit closer.
Only 1 of 3 from the line here in the first 61 seconds of this quarter.
Nickerson's one that kept saying this is a dream come true. The biggest thing that got us here was how much we trust each other.
Trust, a huge, huge word. As the steal inside by Nickerson, he misses 2 free throws. He sticks his nose in there and gets 2 the hard way. In the paint, Jordan gets the rebound from his back, and they're going to get 2 free throws.
You know,
wow.
I hope we're going to see Marcus Jordan again. He shoots this ball from the floor, as Forrest Gump would say, from his buttocks. He got it up on the glass, kept it alive, and all of a sudden there was Stanford Brown, all 6'8", 215 of him, to clean up the offensive glass and have a chance for the charity stripe.
You know, back to Colin Nickerson and trust. That word came up a lot in our conversations with the players and the coaches from Waukegan, and how it's been a mutual trust every which way among and between staff members, coaches, trainers. It's just all one big unit, completely opposite from last year.
Absolutely, and that's what brings championship teams together, is that trust, that we're all on the same page, our goal, focus. Nothing happens unless first the dream. Their vision, their dream is one and the same right now for both these teams.
Couple of free throws for Stanford Brown, pushes that lead back to 8 for Whitney Young. They won the championship here in 1998. Nickerson's miss. Colvin head up down the floor. Nickerson will not allow the baseline to Jordan.
You have two guards with great savvy, the two cerebral players in Jordan and Colvin. Their decision making is usually impeccable, but Colvin right there with a 5 count. Nickerson gets the closely guarded position.
That was just a little bit of lack of concentration there on Chris Colvin. Kind of lost track of where and when he was.
We usually have some awareness of the chops going on, the officials making that count. And Nickerson just not right at that particular point aware of what was going on around him.
36-28. Underneath 6 to play here in the third quarter. Richmond catches, room to work. Jeremy Richmond will give it up. Sam Thompson up ahead to Colvin. Wide open Jordan for 3.
Great job, Colvin, getting deep into the defense. He drew 2 defenders, and then he had the vision to be able to throw it out to Marcus Jordan, and Marcus Jordan with another 3, his 3rd.
Laid back up to double digits. Conner, tough shot, and it will go.
Conner, you're going to see the pirouette, the 360, a little Baryshnikov right here, as he got bumped not once but twice by 2 different Whitney Young defenders, but still spinning to his right, spinning to his left, using his right hand. He had enough upper body strength to get the job done. 6'1", 180. He's a chiseled young man.
And the free throw line has been unkind to Waukegan here in the third quarter. They call the play from the Whitney Young bench. Ball knocked away. Richmond leads the break. Flying through. Nickerson gets the 2.
Nickerson felt the pressure on the left side, so he says, I'll go the other way, and he kisses it off on the right side. Nice reverse layup. He and Jeremy Richmond both following that play. Good offensive rebounding by the Bulldogs.
Waukegan just 1 of 5 from the line here in the third quarter, yet they have cut the lead down to 7. We've got more coming up from Carver Arena, the 4A championship, after these words from your local sponsors. Time now for this National Association of Realtors trivia question. Can you name the ties between Waukegan and the Chicago Public League's 1959 and 1974 tournament appearances?
Not me. I was only 1 year old in 1959, so I don't go that far back.
Well, I've been an oper for this whole weekend on our trivia questions. I've got the 59 one. I do not know the 74 one is. Little autograph signing taking place. Bruce Weber is in the house.
Bruce Weber's in the house. I think he sees some talent assembled here. Wants to be around that. You know, Chris Colvin told us, we asked about him playing for Tyrone Slaughter. He said, he's a good family friend. He taught me how to be a man, and I'll tell you how much he wanted to play for Tyrone Slaughter. He takes the train every day. Over 30 minutes it takes him to get to high school, but he wanted to go to Whitney Young.
Tells you an awful lot about the relationship between those two people. Here's Jordan. Waukegan got back into this game, turning up the defensive pressure late in that first half. And Whitney Young has spread the floor on them here. Brown inside, goes Glass.
Good job. Jeremy Richmond was sitting inside, waiting to be a fly swatter, but high off the glass did Stanford Brown to get the kiss.
Richmond touches the ball a long way from that basket. Antonio Johnson will pick up the foul. Here is your tie, 1959. Waukegan knocked off Marshall 63-62. That was George Wilson's only high school state tournament loss in 3 years. And now in 74, Waukegan lost to eventual state champion Phillips. So there's your tie to the public league. And actually, I was just joking. I did know that Phillips thing as well.
So you are an expert.
Well,
trivia expert.
It's because it's in my notes right below me here, yes. That fact was brought to you by the National Association of Realtors. On the drive, Aaron Johnson will pick it up.
The lane opened up like the Red Sea there. Moses opened it up, and Aaron Johnson came right down the tube, right into your living room to lay that off the glass, and then Waukegan just hanging around.
And yet Young has always been able to counter here. However, the turnover turns it the other way. Richmond. He will be fouled by Jordan, and 2 shots for Jeremy Richmond.
Here you go for it all starts on the defensive end where you see the transition, the nice outlet pass, the touchback back to Jeremy Richmond, Marcus Jordan on the foul. But transition, Waukegan starting to put it into overdrive as far as the running game. If they can get that, they can be an electric basketball team.
It's the 5th team foul on Whitney Young here early in this half as Richmond tries to get the Bulldogs back on track from the free throw line. Foul situations for Whitney Young. Stan Brown has 3, 2 each for Marcus Jordan, Griffin, and Anthony Johnson. On the other side, 3 fouls for Quan Conner, 2 for Nickerson. Richmond will not allow a clean look to the basket. Ahead to Nickerson. Springs. He thought he saw a white jersey, however, the Dolphins close it up in a hurry.
Tyrone Slaughter's probably going to get Sam Thompson on the line. Let's see if I'm right. And that is because that was a terribly ill-advised shot. One thing Tyrone Slaughter demands is discipline. Sam Thompson trying to be too creative on his own right there, and he'll hear about it when he comes to the bench.
Waukegan trailing by 6. They are 2 of 7 from the line here in the 3rd quarter. Trailed by as many as 17 midway through the 2nd quarter. And there's a 3-ball from Jeremy Richmond. And we have a 3-point game.
And now the body language by Jeremy Richmond has changed. It's done a 180 or a 360. It's gone all the way around. He right now is feeling it.
Brown answers the other way.
A silencer.
10 points for Stan Brown. And trailing the play, the call made, the foul will be charged to Franklin Griffin.
What you just saw was great officiating by both Jim Dinkeller and also by Dave King. There was a little bumping going on as they came up the floor, and Jim Dinkeller tried to settle it down, but it didn't settle down, and then Dave King made the call, so good preventative officiating.
That was the 16th foul. Richmond has the ball ripped away, can't get the clean look. Look at Conner come up with it. Johnson, bodies flying in, and will bank it in.
That was ugly but effective by Johnson, and we got ourselves a ball game once again, a 1-possession game.
Does Young answer again here? Ahmad Starks in for 3. Yes!
Back and forth, ebb and flow, up and down. We got ourselves a Donnybrook.
Springs. He has the bucket. 46-42. And you're looking at a couple of teams that are buckling it up right now.
I'll tell you what, we got some entertainment right now. More bang for your buck than this basketball game. There's some athleticism going up and down the floor right now, and just the intensity has just picked up.
Are they going to get, there's a big pick set out near midcourt, Franklin Griffin. And instead it'll be number 20 the other way. It'll be Aaron Johnson for Waukegan. 2nd team foul on the Bulldogs. Whitney Young with 6. Ahmad Starks, that left wrist bandaged up. Guarded by Nickerson. Anthony Johnson into the game. He has it now. To Jordan. 90 seconds left, 3rd quarter. find a man in the corner, and there's going to be 3 free throws coming up for Ahmad Starks. Aaron Johnson got him.
They had a dribble weave going out on top, trying to create some isolation. The foul finally came up at the three-point opportunity. Ahmad Starks draws the foul. The Cardinal sin of basketball, you never foul a jump shooter. Well, it just happened.
Ahmad Starks off the bench with 7 points. He gets 3 free throws. Starks, leading free throw shooter for this club on the season, 88%.
Another storyline, they'll be shooting 1-and-1 or shooting free throws for the next 9 minutes and 24 seconds or the duration of regulation.
One of 2 as of now.
What do you think on the World Wide Web? Anybody in Washington, D.C. might be watching this game, her alma mater?
Michelle Obama, the 1981 salutatorian at Whitney Young High School. Well, FoxJocks.com, that's how she would be getting it. Only 1 of 3 for Starks. A 5-point difference on the board. Nickerson looking to cut it more. Instead the other way, here's Colvin. Chris Colvin. Johnson to Conner. The Bulldogs on the fly. Throws it up, They'll stay at that end, exactly 60 seconds to play in the third quarter.
College court 94 feet, indifference to a high school court 84. The ball is being transitioned sometimes in less than 4.5 seconds. Just incredible speed on the floor right now.
Richmond, he'll get 2 free throws.
Going to see Richmond try to make a play. And Franklin Griffin just can't stay with him off the bounce. Richmond tried to get squared up. Franklin Griffin reaches in, but going to his left off the bounce, Jeremy Richmond was able to create an opportunity for himself to get to the free throw line.
The reason you saw Bruce Weber here moments ago is because that young man at the free throw line who just picked up his 11th point, committed to the University of Illinois, committed after his first game in high school. That was when he was a freshman at North Shore Country Day. What a debut he had for 30 points, double-digit rebounds. He'll be in a lineup.
Richmond said he feels no pressure on being one of the top guys in the state. He just said, I'm totally confident in my abilities.
47-44. Starks dances with Johnson. Starks, a little bit of difficulty handling the ball with the left hand.
A lot more tick than last night, though. He only played about 3 or 4 minutes last night.
Nearly a 5 count, nearly a steal. Touched last by Nickerson. Marcus Jordan thought he was fouled. Take a look at it.
We get a chance to see it twice. You see the deflection, Marcus Jordan off Colin Nickerson.
I think it went off of Nickerson's head.
Yep. Jim Dinkeller got it right again. He usually does.
Will Waukegan allow Young to get the final shot of this quarter? Anthony Johnson comes to get it. They want the ball in Starks' hands. We're down to 10. Onto the floor. Into the hands of Colvin. No basket. A traveling call with 9/10 of a second left.
Well, I'll tell you what, both teams right now just in each other's space, nowhere to make a move. We saw the travel call right on top of it, negates a would-be basket. Rob Watson on the call and the trigger.
All Waukegan wants to do is head to the fourth quarter. That's where we're going as well. Your 4A championship game. A 3-point difference. The Dolphins from Whitney Young on top. And we're back after these local messages.
8 minutes to go in our 4A state championship game. Whitney Young clinging to a 3-point lead here over Waukegan. George Stanton coached Whitney Young to the state title back in '98. Any words of wisdom for the Dolphins going into the final 8 minutes, Coach?
Just keep their composure and take care of the ball.
Tell me what kind of memories this brings back for you, your '98 team, to win over Galesburg to win the state championship.
Very good memories. I talked to the team. This team recently before they left for down here, and just shared a few things that happened while we were down here in terms of the atmosphere and how the guys stuck together and how it brought all the community together, and how the fan support, the school support, our alumni support. So it was a lot of good memories, and of course it's always great when you come out a winner.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, you welcome.
All right, the Dolphins trying to stay together for 8 more minutes, guys, and following Coach Stanton's team's footsteps and bring home a state title.
And Mark, has this game been as advertised?
Absolutely, and then some. There's no doubt that we have a very, very exciting last 8 minutes here.
Take a look at our stats through 3 quarters, provided to you by Bernhard. Save big money at Bernhard.
Both teams mirroring each other, 17 for 38, 16 for 39. You can't get much closer than that. Free throws almost a wash, 3-point field goals. A little bit of advantage to Whitney Young. Rebounds, just a slight advantage to Whitney Young, but team fouls. Whitney Young 7, Waukegan just 3. That might be a storyline. Waukegan's going to be shooting an awful lot of foul shots.
1-1 on the way for Conner. He has the first. 12 points for Quan Conner. He transferred from North Chicago last year. They made the Supers each of the last 2 seasons. Now he plays for the state title.
They tell us he dances in the locker room before every game. He's like the team clown, the one that keeps them loose. I'll tell you what, he's loose right now.
And the score is anything but loose, a 1-point difference. Waukegan had trailed at 1 point by 17. Loose ball. Do they get the timeout? Nope, but there's going to be a foul. 15 points off turnovers for Whitney Young, 9 by Waukegan. And a foul is charged to the Bulldogs.
Whitney Young in desperate need of a good possession. They need to get some kind of isolation. I would think they might want to put Marcus Jordan down in the post at some point and let he and Colvin play a 2-man game. Maybe they're going to do that right now.
Here's Colvin. Inside dish, and the inside bucket will go to Stanford Brown, his 12th point of the night.
There was a clear out that time for Colvin. Jordan with the ball handoff. Colvin with a play. Stanford Brown with the bucket after the dime was delivered by Colvin, the assist.
And some pushing inside. Brown and Richmond both kind of tied up there. But I don't know that that's the call. 7:07 on the clock. And the clock may have come to a stop or may not have started. Checking here courtside, the experienced crew here at Carver Arena. That last bucket by Brown. And it is the clock situation. That last bucket by Brown giving Whitney Young the lead by 3. As since the 4:05 mark of the second quarter, Waukegan has outscored the Dolphins by 14.
Been pretty well documented. Jeremy Richmond has not been feeling well for about the last week. How much will he run down, or how much will adrenaline take over?
You have a delay in the game with the clock, but that doesn't stop Tyrone Slaughter from working it from the sideline.
Good job by the officials. They're going to come over to the bench and try, or not try, but they will get it right, talking to the bench officials.
You know, now, I don't know whether they can do this, but as you see, we have the running clock in the upper right-hand corner of our screen. I don't know that they can, by bylaws, be able to go back and take a look at the play-by-play through our
Obviously,
replays.
college and NBA you can, but there's not TV utilized in high school.
All right, they're going to go with the 7:07, and the clock is now running. Long one would tie it. Open, Johnson for the tie, and it could come from the line. Aaron Johnson fouled on that 3-point attempt.
That might be our second one. Aaron Johnson spotted up, and it was at the finish of the shot. The long-range foul. Aaron Johnson has a chance not once, not twice, but if he can hit the trifecta, we got ourselves a brand new game.
Johnson only 51% from the line this year.
Right there, like he knew what he was doing. 5'9", just a little shake and a bake, 150 pounds, a sophomore, but at a big heart.
And we are one free throw away from that new game.
Waukegan early on, they were cold as ice. There's no doubt about that. They were ice cold. Now they're cold as ice.
Play ball. Yep. 6:52 remains. For the lead. Yes, for Whitney Young on the side of Stanford Brown. 14 points for the big man. This from outside. They want to spread the floor a little bit here for Jeremy Richmond.
Try to get some isolation. Got to get some inside cuts.
Conner. Here come the Dolphins. Colvin got caught up in the air, and now a foul, and we will be shooting free throws on the other end.
And I'll tell you what, with 6:11 to go, we're shooting 2 the rest of the way.
4 fouls on Franklin Griffin, 3 fouls on Stanford Brown, 2 each on Jordan, Anthony Johnson, Sam Thompson, and Antonio Johnson. 3 fouls each on the other side for Waukegan for Aaron Johnson, Quan Conner, and Nickerson. Front end of a 1-and-1, or front end of first of 2 rather, as Conner misses that one.
We'll try to keep track of their free throw shooting the last 6:11, because they probably will get to the free throw line somewhere in the vicinity of 6 to 8 times minimum.
Misfired on both.
Opportunity lost right there.
Dolphins 51-49. We hit the 6-minute mark. Ahmad Starks into the game. For 3. Waukegan with it at the 5:52 mark.
Waukegan needs to get Jeremy Richmond a touch somewhere in the post. When he gets a touch in the post, he will feel some pressure on double and triple teaming. That's when he's got to throw it inside out. There's the entry.
Blocking foul will send Richmond to the line. No basket. Stanford Brown can't believe it, and he is gone. His 5th foul of this game, the last 2 coming in quick succession.
Well, on cue, they got the ball to Jeremy Richmond in the post. Stanford Brown had 4 fouls. Obviously, Ron Ashlaw, good coaching there, knew it. He wanted his stud to get the ball on the inside, posted up strong at the block in the paint area, and he draws the 5th foul.
One of Whitney Young's Division I recruits. Stanford Brown headed to Lamar University. 6 feet 8 inches tall, 215-pound senior. We'll watch the rest of this game from the Dolphins bench.
Now the inside abilities defensively will go to either Sam Thompson at 6'6", or back to Franklin Griffin at 6'6", but they lose just a couple inches for Jeremy Richmond having to shoot the ball over.
Now keep in mind, Franklin Griffin also has 4 fouls.
Waukegan still a foul to give.
And Waukegan, who had checked in a 70% free throw shooting team tonight, has struggled from the line. They're 14 of 23. That's 61%, but it's what's happened here in the second half. Richmond gets the second of 2.
Just one of their last 4 since they've been in the double bonus.
A 1-point game. Your 4A title matchup.
Good job trying to put Jordan in the post. So 2-man game, Colvin and Jordan. That's what you need to do. Get your 2 best athletes some touches on the same side.
Here's the matchup, Springs and Jordan. Looking for a 5 count. And they do get the timeout at about the 4.5-second mark. 5:20 left here from Carver Arena. More after these local words. Oh my. Here is a look at Walgreens' picture-perfect moment. Walgreens is a proud sponsor of the IHSA's Do What's Right, Good Sportsmanship campaign.
Looks like you in your younger years.
You're just referring to
the green hair.
Okay.
The green hair. Soren Begora.
Oh, baby. 5:20 to play in a one-point game for the state championship.
Yeah, we see the Waukegan faithful there biting their nails. This could be a nail biter down to the end. You got to get that feeling right here.
Colvin working on Nickerson. Nickerson, the best defensive player for Waukegan. This is the Springs-Jordan matchup. And you see number 2 and number 5 handling the ball all the way. Jordan, the opening to the lane, and he finishes it.
He had just an ever slight opening. He split 2 defenders, was again able to take it with his left hand, transfer to the right, and get the ball up on the glass.
Conner to Richmond. He'll get 2 free throws. If he had it to do all over again, I think he may have gone up strong the first time, given the lack of production at the free throw line.
Richmond 1 on 2 from the line.
And that will be the 5th foul on Franklin Griffin.
So they're losing some size on the inside. You see Richmond fake, pump fake, and Richmond has no choice but to either A, allow the dunk, or B, draw his 5th foul. He may have been better served allowing the dunk right there and kept himself in the basketball game. So they lost 2 to disqualification foul-wise, and they go to their bench even deeper to number 33, Antonio Johnson. So now they've gone from 6'8" to 6'6" to 6'4".
And 215 to 218. Antonio Johnson, though, checks in at 220, so he's got some muscle on that frame. Sam Thompson still in the lineup for the Dolphins, 6'5", 218 pounds.
We've talked about all the stars on the floor, Dave. This last 4:48, it's got to be Jeremy Richmond, Colin Nickerson, Marcus Jordan, and Chris Colvin. Those are the 4 guys, that the 2-on-2 that each team's got to look to.
Richmond tonight with just 3 field goals. He has 7 free throws. And this one pulls his team within 1. And we've come to a timeout at the 4:48 mark. That much remains in a 1-point game for the state championship.
Got ourselves a 1-point game here in the 4A state championship game with 4:48 to play. Lee Hall up in the stands with Kim Richmond, Jeremy's mom. They're all wearing Richmond 23 shirts. How many shirts, Mom?
We've got 27 shirts here with us tonight. This is so exciting. This is the best thing that's happened to us in a very, very long time.
Of course, Jeremy's gotten a lot of attention over the years, and some of it not good, some of it really good, and just a few minutes away from a state championship. How's he handled all this?
Oh, like a champion. He's doing a wonderful job. I'm very proud of him.
All right, good to see y'all. Hey, guys, they love my purple coat over here in the Waukegan section. I'm not really sure why. I'll try to come back. Thank you.
Ahmad Starks with it for Whitney Young. On the drive, the follow is good. The tip up and in. And the man who had just checked into the game, Antonio Johnson.
Great timing on that. He saw the play coming from the weak side. He just flew in and just guided the ball right back into the 10.
Again, Young just holding Waukegan at bay. Another must trip offensively for the Bulldogs. Tough pass inside. Richmond hangs and scores.
Going to the franchise at crunch time, and he's answering the bell right now. Starting to pick it up with 17.
We're under the midway point of the 4th quarter. Chris Colvin.
Whitney Young loves to dribble weave out front, then try to create.
Starks. Dump inside, and a couple of free throws coming up.
What they do is they try to run a 3-man weave out front, the handoff, but this time the Starks with a penetration. And another good opportunity by Antonio Johnson to tip in earlier off the bench, just about 1 trip ago, and now he has a chance to do some damage from the charity stripe, where they have been outscored by a score of 17-7. Waukegan leads in that category.
Ice for Antonio Johnson. Now we talked about Waukegan's free throw woes in the 3rd quarter, thanks to 3 straight free throws by Aaron Johnson that tied this game, and then 3 straight by Jeremy Richmond. Waukegan has made 8 of 11 from the line in this quarter. They trail by 2. And now 3. Every time the Young is pulled out by 3, Waukegan has answered. Quan Conner, tough shot.
Ill-advised.
And now the Dolphins a chance to build on the lead. And they get a chance 15 feet away.
Ill-advised shot by Quan Conner to far end, and then in transition, Colvin with his head up, sees the floor well, and he hits the streaking Sam Thompson coming down the floor in the open floor. He draws not 1 but 2 fouls. Take your pick.
Whitney Young had a 17-point lead. It ended up tied at one point with 6 minutes left. But the Dolphins demonstrating what head coach Tyrone Slaughter told us when he asked to describe his team. We are resilient.
They bounced back time and time again this year. 9 losses. They didn't panic about that. They have not panicked when Waukegan, a good team, made a run on them. So far, they've stayed right with their game plan.
4-point difference on the board. Nickerson, shot deflected. And the last couple of shot attempts by the Bulldogs have not been pretty. A runner from Springs. And they'll say an orange jersey touched it last.
You're right. They were doing a good job getting touches by Jermaine Richmond in the paint. Since then, they've gone a little bit too much one-on-one play. That ball, they say, went off Marcus Jordan.
Richmond putting the ball on the floor. Colvin, the catch over Springs. Quan Conner breaks it up. And Nickerson finds himself on a baseline, but Quan Conner flying. Watch this.
Colvin hard to the chin, then he throws the lob pass, but good defensive rotation to break things up. Waukegan in transition. Defensively, what you want to do on transition is sprint to the paint, get at least 2 looks over your inside shoulder to find the basketball and to negate any over-the-top passes. Well coached right there to Waukegan on their defensive transition game.
Deflection. Who wins the race? Conner. To the line goes Quan Conner. He missed his last 2 from there earlier in the quarter.
They throw the inbounds pass and it's up for grabs. And then it's a race to the finish, if you will. Quan Conner puts it into overdrive and draws the bump and the foul from Sam Thompson. This will be the 27th and 28th free throws by Waukegan. Title game records, 33 by St. Joe's in 1999 Class AA. Warsaw shot 47 in 1997 in Class A. That's a lot of free throws.
Conner a chance to pull his team within 2.
Respectful court pressure.
Colvin and Nickerson. He wouldn't want it any other way here. The ball, a 2-point lead. Time to burn.
Interesting matchup. Jermaine Richmond, 6'7", 6'8", outguard the perimeter.
He's now on Colvin. Here comes Colvin. Drops it inside. Follow, yes. Antonio Johnson. First attempt, no. Second one finds its mark, 60-56.
How about Antonio Johnson off the bench with 6 points since the foul out? He has been really leading his team the last 2.5, 3 minutes of this game.
He picks up the foul on Richmond. Antonio Johnson, his 3rd foul. And more free throws coming. Richmond has made his last 3. Make that Springs with the free throw attempt. Springs has not been to the line tonight. 68% free throw shooter on the season.
Free throw number 29 and number 30 for Waukegan.
.5'10", 160-pound junior. Started since his freshman year. Once again, makes it a 2-point game.
Whitney Young, talking about resiliency. Waukegan talking about trusting one another. The last 2 minutes, it all comes down to this.
Colvin to the paint and out to the baseline. Conner can't save it.
Good rotation by Conner. Third man rotation. When your man gets beat, somebody's got to come over and help, and that usually leaves the weak side open. It was there, but Quan Conner rotated down third man to knock that ball out of bounds.
Almost a big mix-up there with Jordan and Starks. Ironically, that's how Starks broke his wrist. A collision with Marcus Jordan in practice. Starks has to watch the 5 count here.
Got the double team.
Finds Colvin. Through the paint. Off the glass and in!
Colvin with a no, nice shot. Drive to the basket right there.
With 1:15 to play, Waukegan, do they answer? Richmond, guarded by Antonio Johnson. Splits traffic. Will not go. Loose ball. Jordan can't save it. Under the table. There he is.
Where'd he go?
A look back. Here comes Marcus. There he goes.
Now you see him, now you don't.
Richmond in the lane, off balance, short. Onto the floor to Starks. The hand back to Colvin. The Dolphins in control. A 4-point lead. The ball under a minute to play. Driving, contact, help the bucket. Sam Thompson.
Sam Thompson takes the ball hard to the goal. He saw an avenue, rotating over, but just a little bit late. And Richmond doesn't get the call. The block, the bucket, the bump, and it could be the finish, the dagger right here.
Sam Thompson has split a pair of free throws tonight. The man you just saw has won a few championships in his career. Does his son win one tonight?
Yeah, he's got a few rings. And Whitney Young with a chance to maybe get one tonight. Maybe that'll pop.
Nothing but the bottom of the net for Sam Thompson. And the Bulldogs have to get him up in a hurry now. Young will not make it easy. Nickerson carries the 3. How about that? Tough shot, Colin Nickerson.
Cold as ice shot right there. They stay in the game.
Timeout called by Waukegan. The senior stepping up.
See a back out 3. Drives Jordan in, jabs it back, and nails it.
What a great move right there. Colin Nickerson, 6'3" senior. We'll look at the dog pound. And you can see the looks on their faces. The question is, do they get the ball back again?
Here's some names out of the past. Most free throws made in a title game by an individual. Sean Jepson from Spring Valley Hall in 1997. Class A had 15. Jamie Farr, there's a name from Mount Carmel. Multi-sport athlete, 1985. Class AA, he had 14. And right now, title game opportunity, 8 out of 12 opportunities for Jeremy Richmond in this game. 15, 14, and 12 free throw opportunities.
Free throws have been the story for Waukegan. 12 of their 16 points from the free throw line of the quarter. Let's go to Lee Hall.
Guys, the words of advice from Tyrone Slaughter and his staff, very simple. They've got one timeout left. Be strong with the ball. One coach looked Marcus Jordan in the eye and said, finish it. They've got seconds to go.
Pretty simple instructions. Get a look at Colin Nickerson. His basket was the first field goal for Waukegan in over 4 minutes. Jordan will go to the line. Does he finish it from there? Still a 1-and-1 opportunity. That would be the 9th team foul on Waukegan.
Jordan was 9 out of 10 from the foul line last night. For the year, he's 81%. So great job by the Dolphins getting the ball in the proper person's hand to try to finish the deal from the charity stripe.
He was 8 of 8 in the fourth quarter last night when it mattered. That was the semifinal win over Thornton. And he gets another. What do you think? I think Michael's stomach is feeling like right now, just like that of any other parent that's here watching their kids play on this floor.
He'd tell you he's more nervous as a parent than he was as a player. That's what every parent tells you.
Got them both. 17 points tonight for Jordan. A 6-point Young lead. Nickerson. He's going to be doubled up. Conner looking for a 3 the old-fashioned way. He'll settle for 2. And another timeout with 13.6 left and a 4-point difference. So those 2 free throws by Jordan matched by Connors. However, they took about 15 seconds off the clock.
Tyrone Slaughter will tell his team right now they'll get in one of a numerous 3 or 4 sets to be able to inbound this basketball.
No more timeouts left for Waukegan. Possession arrow to Young. Those are the big numbers.
And at that juncture, once they're going to want the screener to come back to the ball. On the other side of the ledger, Ron Ashlaw will be in a denial defense. They'll be face guarding every opponent from Whitney Young. They will probably put a center fielder, one guy back to be an interceptor or a trapper. They have to come up with a steal, and if you play behind, obviously that can't happen. That's the science of the obvious right there. But they have to have a center fielder there to try to negate any lob pass.
You know, interesting moment right there. The whole theme for Waukegan this year has been trust. You saw Ron Ashlaw stop talking, listen to some of his players, then offer his feedback. That really says it all.
There's no doubt about that. When you have good dialogue between player and coach, that's when things are special, and that's when trust really comes forward. Players and coaches can share ideas along with assistant coaches, other staff members. So how many screens they set for Marcus Jordan, or if he becomes the screener and then curls back to the basketball.
Most important inbounds pass coming up of this season. Poked out of bounds nicely by Nickerson, hoping for that extra deflection. Takes a couple ticks off the clock.
Players right now can't play in straight lines. You need to change direction utilizing V cuts and L cuts, but not play in straight lines.
They get it to Jordan. He goes to the line. He made a great move on Nickerson, who had him well defended.
He was able to create space with that, change of direction, that V cut, if you will. Create space and allow the opportunity for the open pass, open look to him.
Jordan now 10 of 10 in the fourth quarter here in the state finals. He had one of the biggest names coming into this tournament. He's making a name for himself here tonight. And now Young will use the timeout, their last, with 11.9 seconds to play.
One of those situations where you saw Michael one more time putting his head down. Can't bear to watch kind of situation, but I'll tell you what, Marcus is money right now at the charity stripe.
And his whole Young team has played with so much confidence. You remember last night in the semifinal game, getting down to a great Thornton team, 16-2. They just remained calm, they remained confident, and they end up obviously winning that game to take them here 11.9 seconds away to a state championship.
You talked about resiliency and the ability for Whitney Young to hold off Waukegan, but Waukegan just kept coming right at him. They were chasing 17 in this ball game at one point, but here's what happened to Waukegan. They kept climbing the hill, kept climbing the hill. They just couldn't get over the apex. I don't think they ever got a tie.
Let's go to Lee Hall.
All right, Tyrone Slaughter in the huddle telling his guys to play good defense. Don't get up in their body, just get in front of them, make them waste a little time. And he said, when we win this game, go crazy, go crazy.
If you can't go crazy at that
11.9 before they can do that, guys.
And they're 1 point closer. Nickerson will have to fly. Looking for the foul. He gets the 3 ball. No more timeouts remaining for either team. And that will do it. Whitney Young wins the 2009 state championship in Class 4A. 11 years ago, George Stanton and the Whitney Young Dolphins defeated Galesburg for the 1998 state AA title. And here in 2009, the 4A championship belongs to Whitney Young.
What a great basketball game. We had 32 minutes of entertainment. The Stars came out tonight, no doubt about that. None brighter than Marcus Jordan, who has got to be, the player of the game probably last night and tonight. 19 points. Finished the game in the second half last night. Again tonight, great balance by Johnson, Richmond, Conner, and Nickerson, all in double figures for Waukegan. But Whitney Young with a blitzkrieg early on, and then enough resiliency to hang on and hold off the oncoming and charging Bulldogs. They took the bite out of them at the end.
You felt the pressure the entire evening with the matchup of these two teams coming in. As you said, it built and built and built, and finally the explosion, the orange explosion of Whitney Young as they pick up the state championship 69-66.
This game had its ebbs and flows, its peaks and valleys, its runs.
Lee Hall is in traffic. Lee.
All right, we are right in the middle of the Whitney Young huddle here, post-game celebration. Tyrone Slaughter, what a great effort by your young men out there tonight. 17-point lead that got away from you. They showed their resiliency and got it done here tonight.
It's a year of favor. It's a year of favor, and God has blessed us this year. We've had some tough games, but these young men never gave up on each other, and they never gave up on this team. And we've done what everybody in this state said we could not do. We are the 4A state champs, and I'm proud of each one of these young people. This is their time.
Great team effort. You guys were able to get to the basket. Marcus Jordan, another great night for you.
He can play basketball. He has good pedigree. This is their time. I don't want any more of it. Talk to those guys.
Congratulations. Marcus, congratulations, buddy. We saw you down at state with the girls, and you got it done here tonight. Tell me about this victory. You guys were up 17. They came back on you and challenged you every bit the rest of the way.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to be an easy game. They started off pretty slow, and we knew the push would come. We just had to sustain the push, and we did that, and it feels great right now.
Tell me about the offensive output for you the last 2 nights. You kind of took charge of this team and made it happen.
Yeah, my cousins, John and Carl, they told me that Jordan's never lose in the playoffs. So I just had to go out and make sure that we got the win.
How much more special does it make it for you to have Dad out there watching?
Oh, it feels great. It feels great. I'm sure we're going to watch film after this game, too.
He can tell you what you did wrong. Congratulations, buddy. Happy for you. All right, Marcus Jordan, our Country Financial Player of the Game, follows in Dad's footsteps quite nicely, guys.
And the thing that's really gratifying about that, I alluded to it a little bit earlier, tonight, even though Michael is getting all the attention right now, in terms of off the floor, tonight was Marcus Jordan's time on the floor.
Absolutely, it was last night and tonight. Tournament time was Marcus Jordan time tonight. He had what I would think was a less than adequate first half last night when his team needed him to rise as a star and breathe bright. He couldn't have been more so last night and then again tonight.
There's more to come on the IHSA TV network. Your state champs, the Whitney Young Dolphins, 69-66 over Waukegan.
Please meet the Bulldogs of Waukegan, finishing in second place, 2009 4A boys. Let's meet the principal, Dr. Steve Hamlin. Athletic director.
Thanks so much. Thanks for working with you.
David Perkins. Athletic trainer, Tim Briner. Head coach, Ron Ashlaw. Assistant coach, Tim Bowen. Assistant coach, Scott Sander. Assistant coach, K.T. Reeves. Assistant coach, Pete Krakenberger. And now the Bulldog players. 1, Mike Springs. 2, Akeem Springs. 5, Jeremy Long. 10, David Dunn. 11, Marquise Edmonds. 12, Marquan Edmonds. 14, James Towns. 20, Aaron Johnson. 21, Luis Fernandez. 22, Anton Williams. 23, Jeremy Richmond. 24, Quan Conner. 30, Colin Nickerson. 42, Steve Claiborne. And 44, Seth Taylor. The Bulldogs of Waukegan, second place, 2009, 4A. And now, please meet the Dolphins of Whitney Young High School, first place, 4A, 26-9. Let's meet the administration. CPS Director of Sports Administration for Whitney Young, Calvin Davis. Principal, Dr. Joyce Kenner. Athletic Director, Chris Cassidy. Athletic Trainer, Shayna Smith. Head Coach, Tyrone Slaughter. Assistant Coach, Kevin Bush. Assistant Coach, Ron Coleman. Assistant Coach, Kevin Snyder. Assistant Coach, Jeff Cullers. Assistant Coach, Raul Sims. Manager, Prescott Brown. And now the Dolphin players. Number 1, Quai Pearson. 2, Chris Colvin. 3, Ahmad Sparks. 4, Derek Randolph. 5, Marcus Jordan. 12, Jermaine Morgan. 20, Franklin Griffin. 21, Ricardo Munoz. 22, James Reynolds. 24, Anthony Johnson. 25, Sam Thompson. 33, Antonio Johnson. 35, Stanford Brown. The Whitney Young Dolphins, 26-9. First place, 4A, 2009. Now will Coach Ashlaw and the captains of Waukegan step forward to receive the second place trophy. Now will Coach Slaughter, the captains of Whitney Young, step forward and replace the championship trophy for 2009 4A boys.
Whitney Young, resilient, and they are your 2009 state champions. A 26-9 record. They'll wrap it up, having played maybe the toughest schedule of any school and team in the country. They needed every bit of that here this evening.
Battle tested, as you mentioned, from every part of the country. No doubt about it. They went coast to coast to have their team come together from a camaraderie standpoint, as well as the experience they picked up along the way. And they were, no doubt about it, no intimidation on the stage here in Peoria. As a matter of fact, they were aggressive the entire time. And take no prisoners, Whitney Young is your 2009 state champions 4A.
You know, you talk about resilient, the same could be said for Waukegan. They were down by 17 points. Midway through the first quarter, they ended up tying a ball game in the first minute of the fourth quarter.
Well, you know, Waukegan's going to come right here. They're relentless. They talk about trusting each other. They trusted their system. They got their run and jump game going. They got the ball on the open floor some, but it was really, I think, Whitney Young's ability to play fast tempo early and create that lead, and then later on spread the floor, get to the free throw line where they finished things last night and finished things tonight. I thought they did a great job getting the ball in Marcus Jordan's hands. And Marcus Jordan, he was the star of all the shining people down here this weekend. He got the job done at crunch time.
Let's take a look at your final stats brought to you by Bernhard's. Save big money at Bernhard's. See Whitney Young at 50%, 40% shooting for Waukegan.
Well, Waukegan tried to hang around for the free throw line with those 30 attempts, but three-point field goals. Whitney Young, not really known for that prowess, but they shot 60% there. They dominated the glass, and you see those 11 assists on their 24 field goals. So a lot of things that they were doing came off that selflessness that we've talked about that both teams exhibited throughout this tournament. That's the ability to distribute the basketball, get it to make the extra pass in the open floor.
So you take a look at the championship games we had today. In a 3A game, Champaign Centennial defeating Oswego in the final 10 seconds. This one came down to the final seconds as well. Here's some of your second half highlights. Quan Conner, a man among boys at times tonight.
Just inside strength, then the ball going to the tin. Nice no-look pass. Whitney Young gets the ball deep and a finish by Stanford Brown. That was a big buck at that point. Waukegan just wouldn't go away. Jeremy Richmond shows why he's going to be a big-time player before it's all over with a step-in three. Penetration and off the glass. I believe that was once again Stanford Brown. Then split the double team, looking down low, and it's Chris Colvin with the bump and the bucket right there, able to forego any kind of the defense. And then Jeremy Richmond tried to step in and take the charge, didn't get the job done. That one went in favor of Whitney Young as well.
So your final score is 69-66. Whitney Young, your state champ, second time in school history. The Dolphins have brought that big trophy home to Chicago. For Waukegan, they come up just a bit short, but they only started one senior. That's Colin Nickerson. They may be back. A great tournament here this weekend in Peoria. As we said, great games from Friday through tonight. State champs here today, Champaign Centennial in 3A, and in 4A, it's Whitney Young. For Lee Hall and Mark Lindo and our entire IHSA TV network crew, I'm Dave Bernhard. Thanks for joining us through the 4 weeks of America's original March Madness.